Welcome to the new Big Ten. And welcome to the Voice of College Football. We break down the game we all love each and every day with you. Best discussion, debate, and analysis of college football. Why? Your contribution makes it the very best. Please like the video, share the videos out on social media. If you enjoy the content, others will as well. And subscribe right here at the Voice of College Football. And keep in mind that we have 25 team channels. So a lot of the content that you miss here on the main channel, you will see on our team channels. So the Big Ten is evaluating 4 schools on the West Coast for entry into the Big Ten to join USC and UCLA. They would be Oregon, Washington, Stanford, and Cal. And of course, the Big Ten desperately wants Notre Dame as well. Let's compare those 4 schools from the previous Pac-12, now the Pac-10, and see how they stack up in this evaluation. So, of course, the Big Ten Conference is going to go through a much more stringent evaluation, but let's give it a look. On the surface in football, you would have to say Oregon is the best football brand right now. Best football team, best football program. They've achieved the most and have been consistently the best out of those 4 over the past decade. That's the record since 2012 in the past 10 football seasons. The Ducks are 90-36. They have won 3 Pac-12 championships, gone to a national championship game in 2014. If you take it back to 2010, of course, another BCS championship game against Auburn, and 4 top 10 finishes for the Ducks. Washington at number 2. We've got them at 78-45 in the past 10 seasons. Couple Pac-12 championships in 2016 and 18. 1 top 10 finish, and they reached the playoff in 2016, went to major bowl games in 2017 and 18 in the Fiesta against Penn State and Ohio State in the Rose Bowl in 2018. Stanford, extremely strong, built by Jim Harbaugh, taken over by David Shaw, 82-43 in the past decade with 3 Rose Bowl wins. That's impressive. That's the best out of the Pac-12. 3 top 10 finishes and those 3 Pac-12 championships, and by far the very worst. The Cal Golden Bears have been awful. They have not reached a major bowl game since the 1959 Rose Bowl in the past 10 seasons. 48-67, 3 bowl games for the Golden Bears. So not even close. 3 strong football programs, 1 strong right now in Oregon. Washington and Stanford have obviously shown the capabilities in the past. Washington more consistently through the decades since the late 70s, but those are your football brands. Oregon, Washington, Stanford, and Cal. Now let's go to academics. Stanford, in looking at the U.S. News and World Report, is the 6th best university in America. Cal is ranked at number 9. And then a huge drop off to Washington at 59 and Oregon at 99. Stanford has the largest public endowment of any university in the country at $38 billion. Now let's look at the football brand, and we can put basically less metrics to this and more of a feel, more context to the discussion regarding brand name, brand power, popularity across the nation. Why does that matter? Of course, we want people to watch the games. We want people to attend the games. Football TV ratings equal dollars, and this is the bottom line, what it's all about. Attracting fans to the games, either on digital media, on cable, or to the ball games in person. And Oregon would have the best football brand right now. The Nike name, the uniforms are historic and obviously still resonate across college football and even beyond to just the average sports fan. When they think college football uniforms, they think Oregon Ducks and attract a pretty large television audience across the board. Check out our previous videos on this topic in which we encouraged Notre Dame and directed them to join the Big Ten, and also our evaluations of these football programs and universities previously. Check out the links down in the description below. Of course, Portland is the home market of the Oregon Ducks. Stanford in the San Francisco and San Jose area, however, of course, there's an NFL team. So that takes away from the fan interest, but we would place Stanford at 2, Washington at number 3. Out of Seattle, and again, another NFL city, detracts from the Huskies' lure. California out of the Bay Area as well, but who really cares to watch the Cal Golden Bears? It's more about academic appeal and being a partner with somebody, most likely Stanford, and of course, They are two of the biggest rivals in college football. Now let's add not only these four, but Notre Dame to make a 21-team Big Ten and see how that should be divided into divisions. Let's go. Western Division. You've got Oregon, Washington, Stanford, Cal, USC, UCLA. You've got basically Pac-12 going east. And then we tack on Nebraska as the furthest Western Division team with the least number of rivalries and connections in the Big Ten in the current Big Ten because, of course, Nebraska is the most recent member of the Big Ten Western Division, and therefore the ties go back only so far back. And the one rivalry that you would consider to be a true rivalry for Nebraska in the Big Ten would be Iowa, but that was to a certain extent manufactured by the Big Ten. Therefore, we put Nebraska with no other true rivalries in the conference in the Western Division to make it a 7-team division. In the Central Division, that leaves Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota, Northwestern, Illinois, Purdue, and new member Notre Dame. So you would figure if the power structure stays similar to what we have seen in recent years, it would be quite the battle between Notre Dame, Wisconsin, Iowa, possibly in certain years Minnesota and Purdue for the Central Division. Of course, Northwestern has won 2 of the Big Ten Western Division titles in the past 4 seasons. And then onto the Big Ten Eastern Division, which basically stays intact. That's the 7-team division that stands right now in the Big Ten Eastern Division because we got 14 teams right now in the Big Ten, 7 and 7, East and West. How would you determine a champion? You would do it this way. Let's look at the semifinals. All 3 division winners would go to the semifinal games. And then the number 1 wild card, the team in second place with the best record, and you would institute an NFL-type tiebreaker policy, of course, to implement if needed. So let's take last year's results and standings and implement the semifinal games. If we went strictly by seedings and ignored the divisions, then Michigan would be the 1 seed. Notre Dame, we would have to apply a conference record to their 11-1 regular season. So let's say Notre Dame finished as the 2 seed, Ohio State at 3, and Michigan State actually would have been the 4 seed. However, if we honor the divisions and award division championships, then you displace Michigan State with Oregon, and you've got Michigan, Oregon, Ohio State, and Notre Dame. Ohio State and Michigan would play in the semifinal game unless you, again, enacted a rule in which 2 teams from the same division could not play in a semifinal game. Therefore, it would be Michigan, Oregon, Ohio State, and Notre Dame in the 2 semifinal games of 2021. Our thoughts about the Big Ten. A Big Ten, now a Big 21. Of course, the Big Ten's a name brand. So the Big 21 with Notre Dame and the 4 joining from the Pac-12, Cal, Stanford, Oregon, and Washington. Your thoughts below, right here at the Voice of College Football.